'Tis the season to go merrily door to door and receive candy purchased from your neighbor's hard-earned cash in exchange for a peek at your festive costume. Halloween has quite the history prior to coming to America, so let's dig into it today and learn about the spookiest season of them all.
3-minute flicks. Entertaining, educating, and enlightening.
Halloween's first origins date back to the Celtic festival of Sow-in. The Celts lived roughly 2,000 years ago in the area now known as Ireland, and celebrated the start of their new year on November 1st. This day was known as the official end of summer and the harvest, as well as the beginning of the winter. The Celtic people believed that on the night before the new year, the boundaries between the living and the dead would weaken, and the ghosts of the dead would return on their New Year's Eve, October 31st. To celebrate this event, the Celts would build huge bonfires to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic gods. During this celebration, they would often wear costumes made up of animal heads and skins, which sounds only a little horrifying. Many years later, the Roman Empire had conquered the great majority of Celtic territory, and in the 400 years that they ruled, 2 Roman celebrations would be combined with the Celtic holiday of Sow-in. These Roman holidays were also used to commemorate the passing of the dead and to worship the goddess of the harvest. In the 19th century, Christianity had spread into the old Celtic lands, where another combination would take place. The church would declare November 2nd All Souls Day as a day to honor the dead, in a not-so-subtle attempt to replace the Celtic holiday with their own. All Souls Day was remarkably similar to Sow-in, with bonfires, parades, costumes, the whole 9 yards. Eventually, the day of November 1st would become All Saints Day, to celebrate the saints and the martyrs. All Saints Day would also be known as All Hallows, and the night before it, the traditional Celtic Sow-in would be known as All Hallows Eve, and eventually became Halloween. Despite being a church-sanctioned holiday, once Halloween came to colonial New England, it had some trouble spreading due to its somewhat haunting nature of the whole thing. However, as the colonists began to accept the holiday, it would mesh with their own beliefs and celebrations to make what we much more closely recognize as Halloween today. Halloween became a time for decorating, partying, and enjoying the end of the season, and celebrating the lives of those who had passed. Eventually, during the potato famine, Irish immigrants would flood to the States and helped finalize the spread of Halloween, as they also came from Celtic origins themselves. The final development in Halloween history was the introduction of trick-or-treating. During the 1800s, a movement was made to try to make Halloween more family-friendly and less focused on ghosts and witchcraft and Halloween things. However, the acts of mischief by the younger generation would continue through the nights, and while Halloween was a time for family and friendship, vandalism would still plague the whole holiday. Finally, during the 1920s, an idea began to spread that allowed the youth a safe way to celebrate the holiday and be offered peace offerings by their neighbors that would cease the pranking. Which is where we get the phrase, trick or treat.
3-minute flicks. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We create new videos weekly.